Joining us from Capitol Hill is the Senate Banking Committee Chairman, Richard Shelby. Chairman Shelby, welcome. Always nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
Did you get the answers you sought from both Mr. Stumpf and the other panels, which involved government regulators, where you were concerned about why the government regulators didn't know what was going on at Wells Fargo, not just what Mr. Stumpf knew and when he knew it?
We got some of the answers, but from both sides, both the regulators and Mr. Stumpf, there were some unanswered questions. But this investigation, I'm sure, is going to go on in different aspects. But the main thing that I tried to put forth today, that banking's based on trust, integrity. Wells Fargo has been a good bank. I'm sure it's still a great bank. But people want some answers to these things. They want to know what's wrong with the culture. How would you let this go on so long?
From what
the timeline
you know,
and stuff like that is very important to us.
From what you know, based on your research so far, do you believe that Wells Fargo violated the standards of integrity and trust that you think the banking business is built on, number one? And number two, do you agree with Senator Warren that Mr. Stumpf needs to resign?
Oh, I don't. That's up to the board. He works for the board, not me and not Senator Warren and others. Mr. Stumpf has been recognized as a good banker a long time. But when things happen on your watch, you do have to have responsibility for it, and there's got to be an accounting for it. And I'm not sure that has happened yet.
Do you think, back to my previous question, that Wells Fargo lived up to the standards of trust and integrity that you would hold banks to?
No, I don't. I do not. When they were, you have employees and up to 5,000 that they terminated for bringing forth fraudulent accounts, there's something wrong with the culture and there's something wrong at the bank.
Is there something wrong, as Senator Warren pointed out, with the idea that many of the people who were fired were lower-level individuals, and that to her discovery, none of the senior executives involved, not Mr. Stumpf, not anyone, has been fired as a result of this? Does that concern you?
I think it begs the question of what's really going on, and is anyone in responsibility accepting accountability and responsibility? We haven't seen it yet.
Senator Shelby, I've had some people on social media reach out and say that other banks, non-Wells Fargo banks, have basically done the same to them. I haven't retweeted them because I can't confirm anything, but they have come out. I'm sure that you and maybe your staffers have looked into it. Do you believe that we will find there are other major national banks who did the same thing as Wells Fargo?
I think it's probably similar. I don't know that myself yet. I asked that question today, and others ask it too. This could be systemic through the banking system, but the banking system has got to go back to trust and integrity.
Do you know
when they get away from that, they get in trouble?
Senator, do you know of or aware of any current investigations into other banks?
I do not.
Do you believe that you got sufficient answers from the government? We were on the air during the second half of your panel, Senator, and I apologize for not knowing the answer, but you can tell me. Did you get sufficient answers from the regulators as to why things took seemingly, federal regulators, why things took seemingly as long as they did? For example, you cited the fact, which we reported last week as well, that this whole matter at Wells Fargo came about largely because of some smart reporting by some journalists at the L.A. Times, and then it led to some charges in the city attorney's office in L.A., but the federal regulators didn't seem to get onto the case for quite some time. What did they tell you about why that happened?
Well, they tried, it was obvious to anyone watching the hearings today that it was the city of Los Angeles attorneys that initiated this after the report by the Los Angeles Times reporter, not the comptroller of the currency, not the consumer agency. They were late to the party. That was obvious. I think they're trying to claim a lot of credit that's not due them.
So why do federal regulators seem to be late to the party as often as it seems? Or have I got it completely wrong?
No, I think you're on to something. We were today, too. I believe they were late to the problems. They did not react to it, I think, in a timely way. and now they're trying to claim credit for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think people who are trying to conceal frauds are sometimes very hard to find. We think of Bernie Madoff.
It is, but once you got it, you better dig deep.
Yeah. All right, Senator, thank you very much, and congratulations to the Crimson Tide last weekend.
Thank you.
I know you're happy
We
about
were glad the game was over. Thank you.
So was Coach Saban. Senator